Hi, welcome back. As always, I have no script and no idea what's going to come out, but it's going to come out and it's going to be 100% raw Taylor. Today I want to talk about some good news and some bad news. The good news is that after 40 years of people like me saying it, some of the mainstream news broadcasters and personalities are finally starting to talk about how incredibly insane a great deal of what's going on in our culture right now is, and how incredibly stupid most people are. Now, I know that's not a politically good thing to say right now, or politically acceptable and all that, politically correct, but it needs to be said. And thank God people like Joy Reid on her show, The Readout on MSNBC, are finally starting to talk about some of this stuff. And that's the good news. For example, a couple of days ago, Joy Reid quoted Dr. Fiona Hill as saying, "How can't people see this?" Eugene Robinson, one of my great heroes, wrote in the Washington Post a day or two ago, and he was on the Joy Reid show today or yesterday also. He wrote, "How did we become, in such alarming measure, so dumb?" He also talks about how we have become, you need to read that piece, by the way, it's in the Washington Post. And I'll see if I can find a link to it in the video. I'll put it in the comments. And I'll also put a link to that snippet on where he is talking on the Joy Reid show, the Readout. But anyway, he also talks about how we have become a civilization, a people, a culture, quote, who deny even the concept of objective reality, unquote. Think about that. This guy is a really powerful writer. I would love to meet him someday. We have become people, quote, who deny even the concept of objective reality. And that's the good news. These are very powerful, very influential, very well-regarded people. The bad news is they're pretty much only talking about it in terms of the politics, and in this case the coronavirus and things like that. And still, and today is October 8th, 2021, still 40 or 50 years after we should have been screaming from the rooftops, 40 or 50 years too late, we're still denying, nobody's talking about, we're still ignoring the great big elephant in the room. And that is the fact that this great stupidity of almost our entire civilization applies to an even greater problem than anything political. And that problem is the environment. The fact that we are destroying the planet. The fact that we might possibly even have already set into motion such that it's unstoppable. But if we haven't already done that, we're very, very close to the point where it will be unstoppable, and most likely virtually all life on this planet will die sometime in the next 10 to 100 years. Now again, this just such a horrible concept that people just don't want to talk about it. And I understand that. But more and more of us have to start talking about it, or we're not going to have any chance at all to change it. So, somehow we have to get influential people to talk more and more and more about this. And because I want to have this video series to give you specific action steps you can take, one of the things that all of us need to do is not only cultivate for ourselves, but share with other people hope that we might still actually have a chance to save the planet and not kill off everybody or almost everybody. And I was so encouraged the other day by a group called Yes, and they had a online meeting. It was absolutely wonderful. And I'll put a link to that in the comments also, by the way. I highly recommend you spend some time hanging out with somebody like these people that are not only positive and hopeful, but are intelligent and taking action. And that's probably the greatest action step I should share today, is get around people, get involved with other people who are doing something. And it almost doesn't matter what you do, because there's a whole lot of things that need doing. And there isn't just one thing that needs to be done in order to fix everything. There's lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of different things at many different levels, local and state and national and international, that need to be done. So it pretty much doesn't matter what you do, just get involved somehow with a group of people who are optimistic and working like hell to save this planet, and start working with them. And feed each other's hope, build each other's hope, build each other up. Because it's really easy to get discouraged when you're thinking about the end of civilization and the death of billions and billions of people most of the time. Trust me, I know. I'm trying to finish my book right now and about that. And that's one of the toughest things is up here, is just getting so discouraged that, you don't do anything. So anyway, by the way, someday I hope somebody can introduce me to Joy Reid so we can get her to talk more and more about the environment. Now, I will confess, again, that was very good news that the other day she had the author, Heather McGee, the author of this fantastic book, on her show, and Heather was talking a little bit about the environment. But that was the first time I've heard, or pretty much the first time I've heard somebody really in a position of power and influence to talk strongly about the environment. And the fact that literally billions of people are going to die if we don't start changing things right now. That's the title of my book, by the way, so I'm fond of that phrase. But we have to make changes. We have to start taking action. Because right now, silence is murder. If you are silent, you are contributing to the murder that's going to happen over the next X number of years, and you can pick a number. Nobody knows exactly. There's lots of different estimates, but sometime over the next X years, a whole lot of people are going to be murdered by the environment, and by the wars that are coming, and the collapse of civilization, if we don't change things really, really, really quickly. So, cultivate hope, get active. Thanks.